Welcome to week 2 CIS 280. I hope you had a great first week and are enjoying getting into the Swift programming language. We're going to go through what is part of week 2. This is going to be a holiday weekend, so I hope that you will be okay with the fact that I did not assign an iOS project for you this week. We'll get into doing that next week. So you'll just have those labs that you need to get accomplished that can be done either in Xcode or they can be done in Replit. If I drill into the week 2 roadmap, we'll be taking a look a little bit more in depth on strings. This is more about string methods in actuality. So we'll be taking a look at things like we can get the count of the characters in a string. We can check to see whether a string has another string embedded within it, so a substring. We can take a look at some of those functions or methods. Typically we call them methods when it's in the context of a class. A string is a class. We will look at functions. This will be our intro to where we can start modularizing some of our programs and creating functions that are a specific use to try to organize our code in such a manner that it doesn't get too hard to maintain going forward, because maintainability with code is always one of the most important things that we have. We also will take a look at our control flow, so we'll look at the for in, which is going to lead us into some of the range operators, which may be an introduction for some people that have never dealt with those types of things before, and then take a look at our while and then our repeat while loops as well, so the pre-test, post-test loops as well. When we get into the lectures, you'll have one on the string methods where it goes through a demo of some of those methods that are available. We're going to skip over some of the advanced string methods because we haven't covered collections and we haven't covered some of the other things like guards. We'll take a look at those in a week or two. We'll also go through the loops and the range finders. We'll take a look at functions. We'll take a look at the iOS application overview. So we created an iOS application that I have pushed out and is due this coming weekend because there has been issues in the MacLab. But it's going to talk through what some of those files that we see in the project navigator, what their responsibilities are. So we have a little bit more familiarity with that going forward. Then we're going to take a look in the 5th video at using our playgrounds, which is more a simplistic type of development environment over our Xcode. Our Xcode has more things that come into play, and we're going to start out with just very simplistic for creating our initial UIs. We'll be using text, and this is going to be synonymous to labels and other languages where we're building our user interfaces, and that would be something that we're just displaying information. Could be something that is static and we're just displaying it as a label for some type of a text field, or it could be something that we can change programmatically. We are also going to be taking a look at text fields, and that's where we can enter data into a field and record information, and then based on that information do something with it. And then we'll look at our buttons, which gets us into more of our event-driven programming paradigm, because once we have a button, then there's some type of an action we can do. So we'll be going through all of that. As I indicated, we'll just be having some lab assignments because I don't necessarily want you to be so stressed out and want you to be able to enjoy a little bit of the holiday weekend. So we'll have one of the labs on the string methods, one on the loops, and one on functions, and then the quiz that's related to all of those 3 topics. Now, I will be working in the MacLab on Monday morning, hopefully getting the computers resolved there, at least so that you guys can go through the MacLab if you have a need to use that as a resource. And other than that, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I hope you have a great week.